Look at that poll, Vinny. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, do your thing.
What late night show do you watch? 1,800 voters.
Good for you guys.
96% said none.
Yeah.
2% Fallon. 1% Kimmel. 1% Colbert. Oh my God.
I'm so proud of every single one of you. Good for you. Don't give them any energy because it's not comedy. It's propaganda. They're all getting paid to do what they're doing. They're not about making people laugh anymore. It's just an agenda. I'm sick and tired of it. Let's just talk about these people. Jimmy Kimmel, who is one of the most unfunniest people on the planet. He's labeled as a stand-up comedian. Who has ever watched Jimmy Kimmel? Have any of you guys seen his special? Anybody?
For decades, the late-night television show was more than just a broadcast. It was a cultural cornerstone, a nightly communion for millions. It was where we laughed, where we processed the headlines, where our collective anxieties and triumphs found a voice in comedic form. It was a ritual, a habit etched into the very fabric of American evenings, an undeniable force that felt as permanent as the stars themselves. But then, almost imperceptibly at first, something shifted. The thunderous applause began to fade, replaced by a strange, unsettling quiet. The grand stages of these once mighty institutions, which once hummed with vibrant energy, now often stand eerily empty, the laughter from the screens feeling hollow, forced, almost programmed. What truly happened? What unseen force led to this dramatic, bewildering decline?
You all know what they saw. They saw what we saw. They saw the frail elderly man who needed help getting off the stage. They're just too chicken shit to tell us about it because they accurately deduced that he could still be the Democratic nominee and they don't want to ding him up. Maybe you give Barbara a pass. Who gives a damn what this singer saw or says? But you know what? Jimmy Kimmel happens to be employed by ABC, which happens to have a rather large news organization. And he has been one of President Trump's most vocal critics. Where are you, Jimmy? On vacation? Not good enough. You can still use your thumbs to send out a tweet. You could set the record straight right now, but you won't.
A recent startling poll tore through the industry like a wrecking ball, revealing a truth so uncomfortable, so profoundly shocking that it redefined the very landscape of entertainment. A staggering 96% of viewers now choose none of the major late-night offerings. This isn't merely a dip in numbers. It's a seismic repudiation, a mass exodus from a genre that once captivated an entire nation. The audience didn't just turn away, they vanished. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on this cultural collapse. Two titans of unvarnished truth, voices, known for their savage, no-nonsense approaches. Megyn Kelly, the razor-sharp journalist, and Patrick Bet-David, the astute cultural strategist, recently dissected this phenomenon with surgical precision. What they uncovered exposes a shocking reality about what late-night comedy has truly become, why its once loyal audience has utterly abandoned it, and the deeply unsettling implications for our broader cultural conversation. This isn't your usual late-night roast. It's a full-on verbal demolition derby where the jokes hit harder than any morning coffee. Wondering how the industry survived this takedown? Spoiler alert, it didn't. Prepare for a story dripping with savage comebacks and jaw-dropping moments you won't see coming.
I'm not hysterical. I laugh when people say, oh, you've got Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
I think if you're a reasonable person, you should have Trump derangement syndrome. And by the way, I think he has derangement syndrome about us, too. The fact of the matter is, this is a dangerous person. This is a stupid person. And that's a bad combination.
What a shame. What a shame that a late night show host that millions of people used to watch you, and they probably still do, but it's not as high as it used to be. And you just called the president stupid?
The core accusation leveled against modern late night is stark, unyielding, and impossible to ignore. It has abandoned genuine humor, morphing instead into a vehicle for something far more insidious, something closer to pure propaganda. This isn't about subjective taste in jokes. It's about a fundamental, almost philosophical shift in its very purpose. The cynical truth, as articulated by these critics, suggests that these hosts, far from being independent jesters speaking truth to power, are allegedly getting paid to do what they're doing, pushing pre-approved agendas rather than eliciting organic side-splitting laughter. The very essence of comedy, making people laugh, uniting them through shared amusement, offering catharsis and escape, has been utterly lost. It's been replaced by a calculated narrative, a predictable script designed to reinforce existing biases rather than challenge them. And at the epicenter of this profound identity crisis stands Jimmy Kimmel, a figure still stubbornly labeled a stand-up comedian, yet described in blunt, unsparing terms as one of the most unfunniest people on the planet. The question hangs in the air, a direct, unsettling challenge thrown to anyone listening, to you, the viewer, right now. Who has ever watched Jimmy Kimmel? Have any of you guys seen his special? Anybody? The unspoken answer for a vast and growing segment of the population is a resounding, almost deafening silence. This silence, far from being passive, is a stark testament to the industry's alleged motives and the shocking, almost tragic shift in its very purpose. It's a comedy show where the laughter has gone silent, replaced by the grating sound of an agenda grinding forward.
More than half of America voted for him. You just disrespected 51% of America? What a shame. It's unbelievably unattractive and not working. Your business model's not working. MSNBC's business model's not working. NBA is not working because they're disrespecting the customer. Who the hell are you, Jimmy? You have a job because of your customers. Capitalism will eventually fire you, unfortunately. For some, fortunately.
Last night was the 96th Academy Awards show, and while you might have missed it, there was one clear winner. No, not Oppenheimer. It was sanctimonious leftists for their lead role in pretending they are better than you. Winner number one, Jimmy Kimmel. For the fourth time, Kimmel hosted the Oscars before an adoring crowd of Hollywood stars who laughed and curried favor with the man who wore blackface so many times. Yes, some of the very same celebrities who wanted you to believe they were horrified after yours truly said in 2018 that people used to don dark makeup in order to imitate well-known black celebrities and it wasn't a big deal. Absolutely ate up the performance by Hollywood darling Mr. Kimmel, whose blackface costumes included his oft-repeated bit as basketball star Karl Malone.
Now, Karl Malone never seen no flying saucer himself, but if he do, that's gonna be a spooky time.
Megyn Kelly, with her razor-sharp wit and journalistic precision, offers a no-holds-barred assessment of Kimmel's particular brand of humor. She doesn't mince words, calling it a watered-down cocktail of cheap laughs, something quick, filling, and utterly forgettable, much like a mass-produced, bland fast food combo meal designed for quick consumption and immediate disposal. It's the comedy equivalent of reheating leftovers for the fifth time, utterly devoid of freshness, desperately lacking any spice or zing, just a sad, mushy repeat of the same tired punchlines. But her critique delves far deeper than mere comedic quality, striking at the heart of the show's perceived purpose. Kelly spotlights what she perceives as a profound disrespect embedded in Kimmel's approach, specifically his alleged denigration of former President Trump, labeling him stupid and even dangerous. This, she argues, isn't just political commentary. It's a direct, almost aggressive political act, a move that disrespected 51% of America, half the nation that cast their ballots for him. Such an approach, Kelly asserts, isn't just distasteful, it's unbelievably unattractive and not working. It's a catastrophic business model, violating the core tenet of capitalism, serving the customer. When you actively disrespect your audience, your customer, they will inevitably fire you. Kimmel's humor, she concludes, amounts to nothing more than the kind of jokes you'd find scribbled on a bathroom wall or shouted by a guy wearing socks with sandals. A sad, predictable echo of what once might have been genuine wit, now reduced to a tired partisan trope.
Next story here is Jimmy Kimmel. So first of all, Robert Downey Jr., congratulations, he wins his first Oscars. Starts to joke, trying to be funny, and he says the following, just listen to this, and I just want you to tell me, if you, maybe I'm wrong, maybe my humor sucked. I didn't find anything funny about what the man said on how he changed his life on the night he's about to win his first Oscar.
This is the highest point of Robert Downey Jr.'s long and illustrious career. Well, one of the highest points.
Maybe it's funny. I don't find it funny at all.
No, it's
now he's playing it off.
Yeah, he's being a professional.
Was that too on the nose, or is that a drug motion you made?
Just keep going. Just keep going. Yeah, move on.
He's won every award there is to win. Is that an acceptance speech in your pocket, or do you just have a very rectangular?
He's acting. He's acting, meaning he can't stand any of the jokes that are being said.
I don't know who labeled Jimmy Kimmel a comedian.
Aren't there to stir thought, but to boost ratings and sell ads.
Just this past 2 weeks, they had the Kennedy Center honors the other night where Joe Biden couldn't say Dionne Warwick. He kept calling her Diane, and he didn't know who Barry Gibb was. He kept calling him Billy. You know who else was honored? At the Kennedy Center. You know who else? Billy Crystal. Just FYI, do you know who once opened up the Academy Awards in full blackface?
Oh,
Billy
yeah.
Crystal. Billy Crystal. And do you know who's going to be hosting the Academy Awards this year? Jimmy Kimmel. Do you know who's worn blackface repeatedly and spoken inner city sort of urban accent saying she needs to darn those socks? Jimmy Kimmel as Oprah, as a fat-suited, black-faced, darning socks Oprah.
And then there's the blackface bombshell, a ghost from Kimmel's past that repeatedly reemerges to expose a profound, almost stunning hypocrisy. The Academy Awards stage, presented as a platform for sanctimonious leftists, ironically saw Kimmel, heralded as winner number one, expertly currying favor with an adoring crowd of Hollywood stars. Yet the unacknowledged elephant in that gilded room was Kimmel's documented and repeated blackface performances, including his infamous Karl Malone bit. This isn't just a convenient oversight, it reveals a profound double standard that borders on the absurd. The very same celebrities who in 2018 claimed to be horrified, truly deeply horrified, by Megyn Kelly's comments acknowledging that past blackface instances, while now widely condemned, were once a common if regrettable part of entertainment. History, these very same luminaries, absolutely ate up Kimmel's performance on that very stage. The irony is as thick as a Hollywood red carpet. This stark contrast is amplified by the shocking case of Chris Harrison, the former Bachelor host who was summarily fired by ABC for merely questioning whether a contestant should be judged by today's standards for attending an antebellum themed party years prior. Harrison's mere inquiry was deemed unacceptable, yet Kimmel, a perceived ally of the prevalent. And then there's the blackface bombshell, a ghost from Kimmel's past that repeatedly reemerges to expose a profound, almost stunning hypocrisy. The Academy Awards stage, presented as a platform for sanctimonious leftists, ironically saw Kimmel, heralded as winner number one, expertly currying favor with an adoring crowd of Hollywood stars. Yet the unacknowledged elephant in that gilded room was Kimmel's documented and repeated blackface performances, including his infamous Karl Malone bit. This isn't just a convenient oversight, it reveals a profound double standard that borders on the absurd. The very same celebrities who in 2018 claimed to be horrified, truly deeply horrified, by Megyn Kelly's comments acknowledging that past blackface instances, while now widely condemned, were once a common if regrettable part of entertainment. History, these very same luminaries, absolutely ate up Kimmel's performance on that very stage. The irony is as thick as a Hollywood red carpet. This stark contrast is amplified by the shocking case of Chris Harrison, the former Bachelor host who was summarily fired by ABC for merely questioning whether a contestant should be judged by today's standards for attending an antebellum themed party years prior. Harrison's mere inquiry was deemed unacceptable, yet Kimmel, a perceived ally of the prevalent committed leftist agenda, remains seemingly untouchable despite a documented and repeated history of blackface. Kelly's argument paints a vivid picture of Kimmel's selective comedy, where he picks his battles like a kid playing dodgeball, meticulously ducking anything that might ruffle feathers in his social circle or network. It's a carefully choreographed display revealing a one-sided roast where half the guests are never invited and where the punches are only thrown in one direction. He has the stage, but somehow, bafflingly, manages to avoid the spotlight when it truly counts, offering safe, predictable jabs instead of genuine, challenging satire. Patrick Bet-David, with his sharp business acumen and strategic cultural analysis, offers a unique and deeply unsettling perspective on Kimmel's true role. For Bet-David, Kimmel isn't just a comedian, he's a formidable cultural influencer, actively and powerfully shaping how millions perceive politics and society.
Oh, wow.
Donald Trump broke him.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go.
Oh my
For
God.
healthcare,
Yeah.
for climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. Yeah.
At the Sunday morning show with Stephanopoulos into the evening Academy Awards broadcast with Kimmel and ABC elevating, the blackface lovin' Kimmel. They, at the same time, fired Chris Harrison, host of The Bachelor, for trying to defend one contestant on, The Bachelorette for saying, gee, I know I went to this antebellum party, a couple years ago. I guess I didn't see anything wrong with it. And all he said was, are we judging her by today's standards or are we judging her by, old standards, whatever. He was basically trying to say, are we being too hard on her? Got fired. Chris Harrison has to be fired by ABC. I don't know why, because he's not a committed leftist, because he's not out there more saying all the terrible things about Republicans that Jimmy Kimmel says. So this is them saying, we get it. We're an ally, right? And I guess maybe they're trying to make up with their racist past without ever acknowledging it.
This leads directly into the scathing commercialization critique, a brutal truth about the industry's priorities. Patrick Bet-David sees Kimmel's show not as an artistic endeavor, born of spontaneous wit and genuine social commentary, but as a product carefully packaged for mass consumption. In this cynical business model, the jokes aren't there to stir genuine thought, to challenge or enlighten. They are primarily designed to boost ratings and sell ads. This brutal truth of the industry dictates that if the joke doesn't sell, it gets cut faster than a viral TikTok dance. This commercial imperative strips satire of its power, reduces its potential, and turns it into a hollow circus act. Bright lights, loud noises, but ultimately empty of substance. Bet-David points to the Kennedy Center honors as a revealing example, where President Biden's verbal gaffes, mispronouncing Dionne Warwick as Diane and Barry Gibb as Billy, were juxtaposed with the honoring of Billy Crystal, another figure with a blackface past who once opened up the Academy Awards in full blackface. This selective outrage and celebrated hypocrisy are further underscored by Kimmel's own documented history, including his repeatedly worn blackface as Oprah, portraying her as a fat-suited blackface darning socks Oprah. The sheer lack of authenticity that defines this commercialized model is sacrificing genuine insight on the altar of entertainment value. The tragic irony is that a host with such a massive stage and undeniable reach remains trapped in a cycle of tired jokes and easy targets, sacrificing true comedic impact for raw, unadulterated commercial gain, turning genuine critique into a cynical, predictable business model. The undeniable truth, perhaps the most damaging to the late-night empire, is the stark, undeniable reality of its collapsing viewership. Late-night comedy is experiencing a dramatic ratings crash, a freefall, so severe it speaks volumes louder than any punchline. The numbers are devastating, almost catastrophic. The Daily Show, once a powerhouse, commanding an audience of over 2 million viewers during the Jon Stewart era, now struggles with a mere 366,000. Seth Meyers barely breaks 778,000. Even Jimmy Kimmel, averaging 1.5 million viewers, is considered equally horrible for network television, especially given its free broadcast content readily available with the flick of a switch. The glaring contrast is undeniable, almost an indictment. Greg Gutfeld, a cable host whose show requires a paid subscription, commands more than double the numbers of Seth Meyers. This isn't just a genre in decline, it's an industry in active, undeniable repudiation by its former audience. The Trump derangement syndrome hypothesis gains compelling traction when statistics reveal a staggering 98% of the 1,463 election-related jokes in 2024 have targeted Donald Trump. This intense, singular focus, this obsessive comedic fixation, has clearly alienated a significant portion of the potential audience, narrowing the appeal to an ever-shrinking echo chamber. Kimmel's highly partisan reaction to the 2024 election outcome, lamenting a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants, underscored the deep ideological chasm, further alienating those who didn't share his precise political alignment, effectively broadcasting to a pre-selected choir.
This is a community that maybe has been having one too many drinks. The late night comedy spent shows 2024 bashing Trump as viewership continues to crash. Vinny, I'm coming to you on this one here, so get your data ready. Rob, I think you got a video on this. Late night comedy hosts like Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel focus heavily on Trump in 2024 with, ready, 98% of the 1,463 election-related jokes targeting who?
Everything's burning hotter.
Now, I will tell you, he's not the worst. The Daily Show has the worst ratings. They only have 366,000 people watching that show. During the Jon Stewart years, it was over 2 million. Now it's down to 300,000. Seth Meyers, absolutely dreadful. He doesn't even have 1 million, 778,000. I mean, for network television, this is, you don't have to pay for it. It's there when you turn on your TV, you plug it in. That's a dreadful number. Greg Gutfeld on cable, which you do have to pay for, it has more than double the numbers of Seth Meyers. Jimmy Kimmel, 1.5 million, averaging. Also equally horrible.
The combined firepower of Megyn Kelly's no-nonsense journalistic lens and Patrick Bet-David's strategic cultural breakdown paints a pretty brutal picture, revealing the profound, albeit unintentional damage of Kimmel's style. It's like accidentally setting off a glitter bomb in a library. It's messy, it's loud, and somehow nobody's happy, making the cleanup feel utterly impossible. First off, Kimmel's approach treats serious issues like they're mere guests. Stars on a reality TV show, a bit over the top, easy to mock, and something to be dealt with before the commercial break. The immense complexity and critical nuance of real-world problems like climate change or healthcare get flattened into sound bites so shallow you could use them to wash your car, reduced to quick jokes about polar bears with sunscreen or impossibly long wait times. This is akin to bringing a water pistol to a wildfire. It might momentarily cool off a tiny spot, but the raging inferno continues to devour everything in its path. This trivialization subtly sends a dangerous subliminal message to the audience. These problems aren't worth serious attention, they're just fodder for your nightly entertainment snack. Then there's the elephant in the studio audience, selective humor. Kelly wasn't exaggerating when she pointed out that Kimmel's comedy picks its targets like a gambler picking winning horses. Careful, calculated, and always avoiding the ones that might upset the house. This selective targeting heavily contributes to the insidious formation of echo chambers, those cozy little bubbles where everyone laughs at the same jokes and agrees on the same things, reinforcing existing beliefs. Kimmel's comedy doesn't burst those bubbles, it blows them up bigger, puffing up confirmation bias like a puffer fish on a caffeine bench. The result? Audiences become trapped in comfortable little enclaves where opposing views aren't challenged, but rather ignored or mocked from afar. This isn't comedy fostering dialogue, it's comedy actively building walls. These walls aren't just metaphors, they're concrete dividing lines slicing through friendships, through families, and through the very fabric of the national conversation, like a hot knife through a pumpkin spice latte. By refusing to challenge his audience beyond surface level jokes, Kimmel plays right into the hands of polarization, perpetuating a cycle where we're all shouting past each other instead of listening, each side convinced of their own infallible truth. The irony is deliciously bitter. Kimmel sets out to entertain and inform, a noble enough goal for a late night host, but the method he's chosen, a mix of safe punches and surface skimming, may be doing more harm than good. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline clearly labeled comedy. The flames may look bright and flashy, captivating the eye, but underneath everything's burning hotter, the cultural landscape consumed by division. The sobering realization, one that resonates throughout Kelly and Bet-David's combined piercing critique, is that entertainment, especially comedy, is never truly neutral. It possesses immense power to shape opinions, to frame debates, and even to profoundly influence the very direction of society. And when that power is wielded irresponsibly, whether through sheer laziness, through calculated political manipulation, or even through underlying fear of alienating a specific segment of the audience, it contributes to a cultural atmosphere that becomes increasingly fragmented and less informed. This is the true takeaway. This isn't just about Jimmy Kimmel's jokes or his particular style of delivery. It's about the broader, profound role media figures play in shaping conversations that truly matter. Every joke, every skit, every punchline, whether intended or not, feeds into a larger narrative, subtly influencing what people believe and how they engage with the world around them. And when that narrative is simplistic, selective, or shallow, the entire public discourse suffers immensely. It matters because in a time when misinformation spreads faster than a viral cat video, when political divisions feel like deep, impassable chasms, the last thing anyone needs is a funny guy who inadvertently makes things worse. Instead, what's desperately needed is comedy that punches up, not sideways. Comedy that bravely challenges, enlightens, and connects rather than divides. Watching media criticism from voices like Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David offers a rare and necessary necessary perspective. Kelly's journalistic rigor peels back the layers of humor to reveal what's missing beneath the laughs. Bet-David's cultural analysis puts those gaps in context, showing the long-term, damaging consequences of comedic choices. Together, they provide a fuller, more complete picture of what comedy could be and what it should desperately strive to avoid becoming. The ultimate, bitter irony is that while Kimmel may perceive himself as the vanguard of progressive comedy, bravely speaking truth to power, his chosen approach might inadvertently be doing more damage than good in an already fractured cultural landscape. It's almost tragic. Here's a guy with one of the biggest stages in America, with the very ability to spark and shape vital conversations, to bridge divides, and yet he chooses to stick to tired jokes and easy targets, never venturing beyond the comfort of the predictable. He's the late-night host who could ignite profound dialogue, but instead prefers to keep the audience in a perpetual cycle of predictable laughs and fleeting outrage. Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David aren't just trashing Kimmel for kicks or personal vendettas. Their critiques are profound warnings, stark reminders that media figures carry a responsibility far bigger than mere ratings or ad revenue. When comedy becomes a lazy tool to reinforce division or dismiss seriousness, when it prioritizes partisan alignment over genuine insight, it fails not just the audience, but the very society it claims to entertain. And in this world of megaphones and platforms where every word can echo endlessly, that failure isn't just a misstep, it's a monumental, unforgivable missed opportunity to actually make things better. This isn't just about humor. It's about what that humor is doing to the crucial conversations we, as a society, so desperately need to have. And if Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David are right, the joke ultimately might just be on all of us.